The 2014 Frontier League All-Star festivities are just a few days away, everything going down here at GCS Ballpark. This is a special edition of the Budweiser Grizzlies Glance. I'm Sam Levitt. I'll be joined a little bit later in the program by one of the greatest softball players in American history, Monica Abbott. She'll be down here with the Chicago Bandits holding a softball camp on Monday and Tuesday of next week, July 14th and July 15th. But first on this week's program, I'm joined by the man behind everything going on for next week's All-Star festivities here at GCS Ballpark, the general manager of the Gateway Grizzlies, Steve Gomric. I'm joined right now by Steve Gomric at the site of the 2014 Frontier League All-Star Game, GCS Ballpark, the man behind the operation of the All-Star Game just next weekend. First, Steve, what can people expect from All-Star Week coming up at GCS?
Well, what we try and do is combine all the things that we do best throughout the year and put it into, a couple of days. Plus, we'll add a whole bunch of other things. For example, we'll be taking out the All-Stars and playing them against the Chicago Bandits, the Chicago fast pitch softball team, and we'll have a battle of the sexes. So GCS has never seen something like that. So I plan on showing you the best of what we do on a daily basis, and bringing it all into one night. And then we also try and show you some new stuff as well.
You mentioned it, the Chicago Bandits are in town, and even before the All-Star Game gets started, a packed couple of days here in Sauget. The softball camp on July 14th and 15th. Then on the 15th, not only the home run derby with the Frontier League All-Stars, but the Chicago Bandits are going to play the Frontier League All-Stars in a game of softball. Has there ever been an All-Star week with so much packed into it before the actual All-Star game even starts?
Well, I will tell you that this All-Star game has evolved over the years throughout the league. In 2003, we hosted, and it was a much smaller event. It was one day. Home run derby and the All-Star game were all on the same night. Now you have seen teams expand the event. It starts, instead of a one-day event, now it's a two-day, now it's a three-day. I think it's just been, such a great celebration of the league. It deserves this. So has it happened before? Yeah, but it's really evolved from 2003 until now. And it really, what we're trying to do is take the best of what every single team has done. Like, the Washington Wild Things last year, they started the Battle of the Sexes. That's not my idea, that's theirs. But it's such a good idea that we're bringing it to this All-Star game. The gifts that we're giving away. I love what Southern Illinois did with their gifts, so we're going to try and mimic that. We're trying to take and pick apart the what's been best about the last 12 years or 13 years and say, okay, this is what we're doing and this is what we're going to be presenting. And that's what our goal is.
Gateway Grizzlies general manager Steve Gomric jumping on this week's Grizzlies Glance with us. The 2014 Frontier League All-Star Game just next week at GCS Ballpark. One new addition to this week's All-Star festivities is the Frontier League Hall of Fame. First time that the league has ever done anything like it. Its inaugural class this year. How did the idea come about, and what does it mean to the league?
The idea came about a couple years ago, and I don't know who, we were just talking. I'm like, I can't believe we don't have a Hall of Fame. And 2 years ago, I kind of made a suggestion, and then I kind of put it in my back pocket, to be honest with you, that we do a Hall of Fame, because I'm like, well, wait, we've got the All-Star Game coming up in 2 years. I kind of put it in my back pocket, and since we're putting on the All-Star Game, I'm kind of like, we get to kind of dictate a few things, like, hey, since we're hosting the All-Star Game, why don't we do the Hall of Fame there around that? And, that's kind of how it evolved. And there was a lot of work that went in by the committee in December, and we made the selections, and we made a lot of really good selections. It was tough. There's a lot of great players. There's over 20 years of history in the Frontier League. So we set the criteria, and we're really happy. The committee did a lot of work, and I think it'll be a great celebration again at the the Hall of Fame luncheon.
We've spoken a lot about the fireworks display that's going to go on July 16th here at GCS Ballpark. Now, you've said to me this is going to be the greatest fireworks display that GCS Ballpark, maybe the entire Midwest, has ever seen. Got two questions for you. Number one, how many fire departments are on call for that night? And number two, do you have a rough estimate of how many fireworks are actually going to be set off here at GCS Ballpark?
I can't tell you the number of fireworks. We put 5 fire departments on call. We're going to give them tickets and everything else like that to make sure that they're here. But I will tell you that it's going to be one of those things. If you were here for July 3rd or July 4th or July 5th, we're shooting off more fireworks if you combined all of those nights together. So imagine that. Imagine July 4th on steroids ×2.
Great stuff right there from Gateway Grizzlies General Manager Steve Gomric. One of the greatest opportunities we have next week here at GCS Ballpark is the softball camp with the Chicago Bandits. July 14th and 15th, Monday and Tuesday of next week. One of the greatest players in the history of American softball, Monica Abbott, will be here with her team, and she joins me on this week's Grizzlies Glance. Joining the Grizzlies Glance on the telephone right now is one of the best players in the history of American softball, Monica Abbott, a former Olympian, one of the best softball pitchers ever at the collegiate level. She currently plays with the Chicago Bandits of the National Pro Fast Pitch League. Monica, how's your season going so far?
Season is going good. We're about almost halfway through the season right now, and I think we're sitting in second place right now. But kind of coming together as a team, which is right where we want to be right now.
You'll be at GCS Ballpark early next week with your teammates. The Bandits are hosting a softball camp on Monday and Tuesday of next week, July 14th and 15th. Monica, what can kids and parents looking to sign up expect from the camp?
Well, the softball camp is really an opportunity for the future of the sport. If you have a daughter that plays softball, if you're a dad that loves baseball and wants to see if your daughter wants to play softball, it's a great opportunity to come out. We'll go over hitting, defense, throwing. Of course, there'll be some fun games and stuff like that for the kids. It's a fun atmosphere, and it's just an opportunity for the pro players from the Bandits to share the love of the game and the knowledge of the sport to help build, hopefully a future Chicago Bandit someday.
Former Olympian Monica Abbott joining us right now on the Grizzlies Glance this week. Monica, is somebody who has accomplished so much in the sport. Is it still neat to work with kids just getting started and just learning really how to play the game?
Yeah, I think it never gets old when a kid gets excited because they just made a good throw or they hit the ball, or the excitement that they have for a game when it's fresh and brand new. And as someone that's played softball for quite some time, when I see a young camper or a young fan in the stands, and that such childlike joy and excitement, that motivates me to always play the game with that same kind of love. So always remember why you started playing.
The softball camp on July 14th and 15th, certainly an exciting event, but the Bandits will also be playing the Frontier League All-Stars on the same night as the Home Run Derby in the Battle of the Sexes softball showcase. You and your teammates will take on the All-Stars in a softball game. Monica, do these guys have any chance against your team?
I like to say girls rule and boys rule, but the game's going to be fun, Battle of the Sexes, so we'll see what's going to happen. The guys always come out, and they're so strong. Like, they're, so much stronger than us girls. So they can throw lasers from center field to home plate, and here we are, us girls mostly trying to, one-hop it to home plate. So there's a big difference, and I don't know, I think it'll be a good game. I'm excited.
Girls rule, boys drool. The challenge is on. The Frontier League All-Stars against the Chicago Bandits on July 15th. The softball camp for the kids on July 14th and July 15th. And really one of the best players in the history of American softball, Monica Abbott, will be there. Monica, thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you at GCS Ballpark.
Thanks for having me, and I look forward to being there. See you all soon.
A big thanks to Monica Abbott and Steve Gomric for joining the program this week. You can still get tickets to any of the All-Star festivities by calling 618-337-3000 or by going online to GatewayGrizzlies.com. That'll do it for this week's Grizzlies Glance, presented by Budweiser. A huge week at GCS Ballpark coming up. We'll see you out here.